Welcome to the Be Real Podcast about growing, giving ourselves grace, giving ourselves gratitude because it's healing. It's just not for the MFing week. This podcast is for anybody that's in a stage in their life where like, I deserve more and I'm going to get it. We are no longer laying down in life. We are fighting life back. So like, if you run up, you're going to get done up. Run up, get done up. Run up, get done up. Hey. Yes, I look cute as fuck today because we're talking about embracing your single season. Like, it is so important to embrace your single season, and I wish I would have known this a long time ago, okay? So, first of all, I'm gonna clock your tea a little bit. As a lover girl, I understand, but lover girl to lover girl, we have to love ourselves first before we can get in any relationship, and think that it's going to succeed. You have been experiencing the same relationships with different people in different bodies and getting the same outcomes. But I want to give you the tools and help you understand how you can embrace your single season from the things that I have learned. Okay, so the first thing that I learned being single is I needed to deal with my trauma. Like, and I feel like you do too. Like, have you really dealt with the shit that you needed to deal with when it came to the pain that you experienced from the men in your life? Like, have you? Or have you just went out and filled that void or try to fill that void by getting in another relationship or getting in a relationship with somebody? I can speak from experience. I never wanted to deal with the hurt that I experienced from the men in my life. The first person to break my heart was my daddy. So for a long time, I did look for the validation from a man. I wanted a man to make me feel like I was enough because I didn't feel like I was enough. But when I got single, it made me look at myself and be like, okay, what's going on? Like, why do your relationships keep failing? You know, like, and I'm gonna be honest, God kept whooping me. Like the whoopings got worse and worse and worse until I sat down and I dealt with the trauma that I was experiencing. Like, I was dealing with the same men, different bodies. They all had their different qualities, of course, but it got worse until I actually sat down. And then in that last heartbreak was the last. That's all I needed. You know, that was it for me. And it was like, okay, Raymond, what's going on? Because I didn't like the feeling of having relationships that fail. I didn't like the feeling like, now I gotta go through a heartbreak. Like, dang, my man ain't my man no more. I did not like that feeling. And so I'm like, what's going on? And I had to deal with that trauma. I learned that I was very insecure. I learned that I was not confident. I learned that I didn't know who I was. Like, I had to sit down and sit with whatever that is. I had to look at the parts of me that hurt. I had to look at those parts, because if I did not, I was going to continue to attract the same thing. I was going to continue to have the same cycle. And you know why I wanted to stop having the same cycle? It's because I had a daughter. And you have a reason why you want to stop the same cycle. So are you willing to look at the pain, look at the hurt, look at the wounds, and just like start dealing with it? Will it hurt? Yes. It's hard to say, like, dang, my father was the first person to break my heart, and I love him dearly, love him to death. You can't tell me nothing about my daddy, but that was the first man to break my heart. And then I started to look for outside validation from a man to make me feel worthy. And it got me into relationships that I never, ever should have even been in. But if I would have looked at that and dealt with those wounds and dealt with that hurt, then I probably would have saved myself a lot of heartache. But it's okay, because it has taught me so much, and it will teach you so much if you would just stop for a second and stop going from relationship to relationship and actually deal with the trauma. Like, and take a little bit of self-accountability. Like, and have a little awareness. I have a lot of awareness. Like, I had to be aware enough to say, like, I've never felt like I was enough. I'm very insecure. Like, I had to have the awareness to say that to myself to be able to even start healing. Like, I don't like the way I was showing up in this relationship. Like, I'm like controlling. Emotionally don't have no control. Anything happen, I'm on that, you know? If you've ever seen me in a relationship, you know. Like, I know some of my exes may be seeing this clip or seeing this, and they be like, no, crazy. Like, it's that crazy bitch outside again. Like, hey, that ain't that crazy bitch outside again, because if you had me fucked up, you gonna feel me. Okay? So, like, I had to stop for a second to be able to show up and where I don't emotionally just react. I had to stop for a second and be like, why don't you feel like you enough? Okay, it started here. Okay, let's actually start. Let's go back to where it started and figure out how we can heal that wound, or just be aware of it enough to where you can deal with it and know when you're getting triggered. Because if you triggered in a relationship and you don't even understand where this trigger coming from, that's where the immaturity comes in, and you overly just emotional and not even communicate how you feel, because it's just like all the pain that you have dealt with, that person is just poking that wound. So it's like, that's the first thing you need to do. Deal with that hurt, boo. Like, deal with that trauma. Go back to the first man in your life that ever broke your heart. Deal with those insecurities, those thoughts that you feel when you're in a relationship, so that you can actually look at it and deal with it, okay? We are no longer not dealing with stuff, because I truly believe if you want to attract the man that you deserve, you have to become the woman that you have to become that woman. Like, you want a man that can control himself. You want a man but you can't even control yourself. You don't even know when you triggered. You don't even want to look at I want him to go to therapy, but you can't even look at your pain and your wounds and deal with the hurt that you have dealt with for men. So, I am telling you, in this single season, before you, my man, where's my man? Deal with that trauma. Deal with that hurt from men, so that you don't carry it into the next relationship. You know? We are calling it a healthy relationship. We're not doing all that toxic stuff no more, okay? All right. Number 2, I'm going to be honest. I did not have no relationship with God when I was in relationships. When in relationships, like, me and God probably maybe talk very seldom. We would talk when things would get rocky in a relationship. Like, if that, like, I did not have a relationship with God. Like, my whole life was grounded or was around this man that I was dealing with. Like, or whoever I was in a relationship, like, my whole life revolved around them and our relationship. And so when things would go left and things would not work out, my whole life was in shambles. Like, I felt like my life was over. It was just like it was just dramatic, because I just felt like my whole world was ending. But being single, being heartbroken, made me have to go to God. I didn't have nobody else to go to, and it deepened my relationship to God to the point to where I'm like, now God is showing me where this trauma comes from. He helping me rebuild my foundation, so when I do get in the next relationship, I'm actually building on the good foundation. And that's the same thing you want from a man. You want him to have a good relationship with God, but you barely talk to God. When you're in a relationship, you have made that man your God, and you have forgot about who God is and what he's done for you. So I had to be reminded of that, or I actually just have to have my own relationship with God, because I never really had one before. I just knew God and I prayed to him, because that's what I was raised on. But we both need to have a relationship with God, because if we are putting our whole trust in man, like, the world of man, like, when I say man, it can be people in this world, period. It can be woman, man. If you put your trust in man, like, don't do that. Like, people change, things change, but God don't change. Like, God literally rebuilt me. Like, even, like, if you was to leave a man, neglect a man, not talk to a man, like, he gonna hold on to that. Like, I did that same thing with God. I wasn't talking to God. I was neglecting God. I was not even giving him none of me. But even in the midst of me being single, being heartbroken, I went to him. He came. He was willing to take me back in with open arms. No, but I don't feel like no man in the world would do that and not have some type of vendetta, or some type of something against me, try to get some get back. God was just like, come on, I've been waiting on you. And I was able to rebuild my foundation. I was able to be who God has called me to be now. Like, now I have a purpose. Like, without the heartbreak and everything that I had to learn, I don't know if it would have been a podcast, like, or me even getting in a relationship with God. Like, I trusted my vision in the podcast because I trust that God has put it in me, and I'm trusting in him that he gonna work it out. Now, if a man would have told me this and then, like, he go away, like, I'm not even doing the podcast no more because, it's something that he told me to do. Like, no, God has given me a purpose now because I have took my eyes off of being in a relationship worried about a man all the time, and I put my eyes on him, and I feel a sense of peace. Like, even when life is life, and I feel a sense of peace because I have a relationship with God. When I was in relationships and life was life, and I would go to my man to fix everything, like, I did not feel a sense of peace. It was a feeling of anxiety and anxiousness, a feeling like something is going to go wrong, you know? So I am just saying that I believe that you have had relationship after relationship, and you have revolved your world around that relationship. And when things went left, you will call on God. It's time for you to build that relationship with God. So even when you do get in that next relationship, like, even if things go right, go wrong, you are grounded in something way deeper, that you trust God so much. You like, if you remove this man from my life, I know that you are protecting me from something. I thank you for pulling me out of this situation, because it's something that you know that I don't know. Like, when now that I have a relationship with God, even when you see this, you're going to see this. When you get a relationship with God, it's just going to be like, when that man ghosts you, it's going to be like, thank you, God. Like, that's how I am now. If God don't let a man be in my presence for too long, I'm like, it's something you don't know. I mean, something that I don't know that you know. And so I thank you for protecting me. Versus when I didn't have a relationship with God, or I would just be like, oh, like, I feel like a rejection. You know, like, why am I not enough? Now I know I'm enough because I've dealt with that trauma. And I trust that if any man is supposed to be in my life, God gonna make it happen. You know, and if he ain't here, or God removes somebody, it's because he's protecting me from something that I don't even know. And coming from a woman that has lost herself in relationships, or never really known herself, and just put her whole world into a man, like, I can't thank God enough. So if you don't do nothing in this single season, get a relationship with God. Get grounded with God. And so when life happens, you go to God, okay? When that man don't text back, go to God. You know, like, just rebuild your relationship with God, and just make it your most authentic. Like, just go to him and lay it all out there. You know, you deserve that. You deserve to be grounded in something other than a man and how a man moves, you know? Like, does it still hurt? Hell yeah, it hurt. But when you got God, you just be like, you know what, God, I got this. We got this. I'm gonna cry to you, though. You know, I'm not calling that nigga phone crying to him, okay? Okay? All right. So like I said, first, deal with that trauma. Second, girl, get back in your Bible. Get back in the church. Just get back in your prayer. Like, do what you gotta do to whatever that looks like for you. Get a relationship with God. Do not put you put your trust in a nigga, stupid hoe. How you figure? Don't you put all your trust in that nigga. You better put that trust in God, okay? And I know it's kind of contradicting, like, you cussing and talking about God. I'm sorry. But y'all got my point. The girls that get it. Like, the girls that are my audience will get it. So, yes. Number 3. After I created my relationship with God, and I just was showing up here to him with my most authentic self, I had to learn who Raven was. Like, do you even know who you are? Like, outside of a relationship, do you know who you are? When I say, do you know who you are, I'm not saying, like, a job title. No, if I ask you who you are, can you tell me? Or you gotta think about it. Or you gonna connect, like, I'm such and such a girlfriend, or I do this for a living. That's what you do, not who you are. Do you even know what you like to do outside of being in a relationship? Like, I really did not know that. Like, I really had to learn who Raven was. Like, Raven is a pure soul. I am a loving, nurturing, like, charismatic. I am a soul shifting. Like, I am a friend. Like, I am that girl. Like, I am the one. like I know who I am. Like, you can't steer me off of who I am no more. Like, somebody will be like, oh, you got a smart mouth. I know. I'm working on it. Like, nobody can tell me about me because I know what my strengths and weaknesses are. When I used to be in relationships, even with you will let that man manipulate you. When you don't know who you are, you're easily manipulated. I can't be manipulated because I know who I am. Even if, like, I used to let a motherfucker tell me I was dumb and believe it. Now they can't tell me I'm dumb. I'm like, what? Dumb? Nigga, do you know that? Do you know that? Like, You can't tell me about me no more. I had to literally get to know me on such a deep level so I cannot be manipulated. You know, like, and you need to do the same. You get in these relationships, you put this man as your world. You don't even know who you are. You're not making time for you. And so now you wondering why, like, you brainwashed. Like, you can't even think for yourself. You know, like, we not doing that. Like, really get to know you. Like, who are you? Without all the car, the money, all that, who are you? My character move mountains for me before a car, a house, or anything else will. And that's what you need to know about yourself. That who you are. You know? Like, hey, nothing can throw me off of who I am now, because I know who I am, the good, bad, and the ugly. Like, I know me so much, and it's not even only about being able, like, being in a relationship or something like that and being manipulated because you don't know who you are. Just imagine not knowing who you are and you are attaching your identity to this person that you're in a relationship with. What you think gonna happen when things go left? You're gonna feel lost. You're gonna be lost as hell. And it's gonna mess with your mental, it's gonna mess with your confidence, and it's gonna take a while to rebuild that. So imagine building that before you get in a relationship. Now you know, like, oh, I actually value journaling. I actually value getting up early in the morning. I actually value certain things about myself because it makes me a better person. But when you don't know who you are and you're not trying to find out who you are, like, you don't even know what you like, what you dislike. You don't know what motivates you. You don't know what makes you better because you're so wrapped up in the relationship. So I challenge you in this single season, get to know you. Get to know your good, your bad, your ugly. Own it, and get to know what you like and what you don't like. What's some hobbies? What's some stuff you can do like that's fun for you? You know, like, figure you out. Outside of the relationships, outside of the titles that you hold, figure you out. Okay? So when you do get in a relationship, like, your whole motion ain't this nigga. Like, you ain't got no life outside of him. Like, no. You're going to have your own thing going on, and he's going to be in addition. And you're going to know who you are in the mix of everything that you got going on. So even if something is misconstrued, you're able to say, hey, that's not even a part of me. That's not my character. So if it came off that way, I am so sorry. You know, like, it'll just make you be able to show up more confident. Like, I'm so much more confident than I was now that I know who I am. Like, it's tea. Please get to know who you are. It's tea. Next, standards. Baby. When I tell you I did not have no standards, when I tell you standards was in the ground, okay? Like, I literally would just go with the flow. Like, but me being in my single season, I've learned to have standards. And when I tell you, baby, it's strict around here. Like, I wouldn't even require for a man to take me out on a date. Like, every relationship I had ever got in is literally, we ended up being together all day. We ended up, you know, whatever. And then that was my man. You know, like, it was never none of that. And this is, of course, I've been with people since I was kids. So, like, I feel like it was, like, a thing from when I was a kid. But now that I'm an adult, it's like, I understand the importance of having a standard. As a kid, I didn't know that you need to even have standards. Like, now I understand. Like, I can't just go for anything. Woman or man, you should not go for anything. Like, I enjoy the small things. Like, yes, open my door. Give me flowers. And I'm not going to give you too much, but, like, I enjoy when a man just has the protector energy on him. Like, and if you know, you know. Like, a man ain't even got to be, like, you ain't even got to do all that to be a protector. You ain't even got to do all that to just exude the energy, the masculine energy to, like, show that you're a protector. Like, it's just in you, you know? So, like, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy being seen by a man. Like, you can't even explain it. But when you know, you know. Like, I have standards. I want to go out and date you. I want to have fun. You know, I like a man that plans and has a vision. Like, what do you like? Do you know what standards you have? Like, I don't even want a man that's, like, a man say certain things. If you say anything about baby mama, yo, like this man trying to talk to me the other day, and he told me all his baby mama still want him. I don't want nothing to do with that man. I don't want nothing to do with that man. Because before me, I'm like, okay, I don't give a fuck about no. But it's like, now me with standards, it's like, now why would I want to deal with a nigga that has baby mamas that will still want him? And you kind of bragging about it. So what you think the baby mama's gonna do? Give me hell. I'm cool. I don't care how fine you are, how much money you got, none of that. I'm cool, okay? So, like, now that I have standards, I know what to look for. I'm not ignoring red flags. I used to think the red flag was pink or try to want it to be pink. No, that motherfucker is red, and I'm not going to even put myself through that because I know how much it takes to rebuild me back up when I am hurt, when I am heartbroken. You know, I have standards even with myself. You know, like, let's be honest, and excuse my French, like I got coochie discipline. Like, I have standards within myself, within my body. I treat my body like a temple. Everybody can't get this, and you never could. But it was a time in my life where it was like I would have that relationship, and then we would break up, and then you get that little feeling, and I would make that call like, hey, like, I'm about to come over there, or you coming over, like, when I'm gonna see you. And so it would still be that back and forth because we still having sex with each other. But when I learned my standards, when I learned about me, when I started to heal my trauma, I didn't even want to engage in that no more, like that back and forth just to get my nut off. Let me be honest, like, I didn't want to engage in that no more. So now I have the discipline, the coochie discipline, to not even just be in that space. And so, like, now it's like, yeah, when I do get a man, and when my man do come, he ain't gotta worry about all that extra. It's like, but the discipline that I have, it's like I can control my hormones. Before it was like I didn't have no control because I'm just gonna call my ex. Like, I have that discipline now, that coochie discipline, and it's a standard. Like, a standard of like, oh, okay. With having coochie discipline, it's like, oh, okay, I know I ain't did nothing in such and such, so I don't need to go to that man's house. Like, no, don't invite me up. I'm cool. Like, I'm gonna stay at home. Like, I know not to go towards the temptation. Like, I know I can't put myself in certain scenarios because I am human, but I have that coochie discipline. I don't know if I would have had. I did not have that before. I did not. She ran me. I didn't run her. Okay, when I say she, her, the second me. So it feels good to not only have standards for a man, but also have standards for myself. Everybody ain't had this, and I'm not backsliding or going back to a relationship just to get a nut off. Like, I'm not doing that more. I'd rather be in my bed, even if it's a little lonely, and be by myself than to go have sex and get my nut off just to have a temporary feeling. Like, no, I'm cool. Like, and so I'm proud of me for having coochie discipline and not engaging with exes and all of that just to get my nut off no more, okay? So, husband, if you seeing this, yeah, I've been keeping her put up for you. I really gotta stop. But then, no, last thing is, like, have fun. Like, I was so focused for so long on my man in my single season. Like, when is my man coming? That I did not have fun. Like, I just want to have fun. Like, even with myself, like, I want to date myself. Like, I want to get out and go get cute. Like, I want to be able to go out with my girls and have fun. Let's just go on a day trip just because. Let me go on my solo trips just because. I was not doing none of this in a relationship. Like, I'm going to have a ball. I'm going to have fun. Like, I'm not putting limits on myself no more. I want to have fun with the person I'm dating. Like, like, and I'm not putting limits on that. Like, hey, I'm telling you, I like to have fun. Movies and I say cool, but let's go to arcade. Like, let's go somewhere, go kart. Like, let's go have fun. Like, you only have one life to live. And yes, you're single, but that don't mean you got to limit yourself. Baby, if anything, the time is now. Go have a ball. Because when you got to check in, you got to call that man. and you gotta make sure y'all both on the same page, it's gonna be a different vibe. You know, like, you may not be able to maneuver like you used to maneuver. You know, I'm praying that you can and he not controlling, you know, but certain things don't align with you when you single versus when you in a relationship. So if it's any time better than now, it's time for you to have a ball, boo. Go have a ball. Go live your life. Go twerk on a jet ski. Go get on the back of a jet ski with a nigga, okay? You know, cause I'm single. I can do what I want, you know? Like, just have a ball, okay? Because it's gonna be a time where you have to have respect for that relationship and you have to consider him, okay? So that's everything that I have learned while being single. I do want to put a disclaimer. This shit do get lonely. Like, being single does get lonely. But I'd much rather be lonely than be in a relationship that I knew I shouldn't be here. I should not be here. You know, like, I don't wanna just be able to say I got a man because I got a man. Like, I feel like a nigga's the easiest thing to get. But I want a man, a grown man. So it's like I'm willing to do the work on myself. So when I do attract that, because you are what you attract. So if you ain't dealing with your trauma, if you ain't got no real relationship with God and you just going with the flow, you ain't got no standards, what you think you're going to attract? So I'm working on me so I can attract what I desire. And I desire to attract a man with a vision, which I got. I desire to attract a man that can still live life, have fun, want to experience life. I do that now. I'm like, I know what I'm working on. I'm dealing with my trauma. I want to attract a man that's dealing with his trauma because I'm not trying to save you. Like, I can't, you know? So it's just like, I am becoming who I am and becoming who I want to attract. So just think of that with everything that I said to you today. Like, you deserve that great man. You deserve a man that's going to cherish you. But let's start with us first. Before we're looking at any relationship or anything, let's start with us first. Because, yeah, we don't deserve to keep having to get hurt and having to rebuild ourselves and re-heal and all that, because we keep putting ourselves in the same situations time after time after again. God gonna keep whooping you, keep teaching you the same lesson until you learn it. And yeah, I hope you learned the lesson this time. So let's embrace our single season. And yeah, while we're embracing that single season and we being positive and we healing, we're gonna call in that man that's gonna treat us right, and we're gonna get that fairy tale. I really believe that I'm gonna get my fairy tale man. Like, I'm gonna be like, God, you did your big one with this one. Like, I know God is not leaving me out here to be by myself. I know he ain't. I'm too much of a little girl. But that wraps up the episode. I challenge you to just heal. Not get into the next relationship. Just look at yourself, look within, and just love on you, learn you, and just have fun. That man gonna come. He gonna come. And yeah, I'm gonna be a testimony. You gonna see next year. I'm gonna be like, yes, girl, got my man, girl. God, prove me right, please. Don't embarrass me. But no, okay. That's the end of the episode. I'm gonna go ahead and pray us out. But first, I'll always say, like, comment, and subscribe. If any of this resonated with you, put a comment below. Also, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can always leave a review. I love when y'all leave reviews and comments, because it just helps me understand that I am aligned and I am doing God's work. And I'm being obedient. And it keeps me going. Like, it keeps me motivated. Like, okay, somebody feeling me. This actually is working. I'm in purpose. And I'm supposed to continue to do what I'm doing. But yes, do all of that. But I'm going to go ahead and pray us out. So, God, thank you for this single season. Thank you for helping me learn who I am. And just to heal that trauma, help me to go back to the times where I feel like I wasn't enough, that I wasn't worthy, and just help me to sit in that and heal from that, so that I can actually be able to heal my trauma and be more emotionally mature and be able to deal with the things of my past so that in my next relationship, I'll actually be more mature. I'll be able to handle situations. I can have those conversations. And when I understand when I'm triggered, I can feel comfortable with my vulnerable self, God. Help me to deal with my trauma so that I don't think it's a pink flag and it's actually a red flag. Help me to not ignore red flags, God. Help me to get to know me so much that nobody ever in their life could ever manipulate me. Help me know the good, the bad, and the ugly about myself, about us. Help us to understand the good, bad, and ugly about ourselves, so where nobody can ever manipulate us. Help us to just be our best self. Like, help us to love us. Help us to allow our character to speak for us before any materialistic thing will. Like the money, the cars don't matter. Help us our soul align with you, God. Help us in the midst of this singleness to grow our relationship with you and be our most authentic self. Yes, we my man, but we are my God first. So thank you for allowing us to be that first and being grounded in you. So when things don't go our way or things don't work out the way we thought it would, that we are not shaking up because we are grounded in you and who you are and who we belong to. God, I am knowing that we know who we are and that we have a life outside of it, man. We got our own motion. So God, thank you for allowing us to have our own motion, our own vision, all of that, God. I thank you so much just for having your hands on every single person that's listening to this, or even just any woman that's listening to this that may not be single. But I'm just asking that you keep your hands on us, allow us to have fun, live life, take trips, all of that. And then continue to have the discipline and to respect our body and treat our body like a temple and have standards and not budge on our standards. Thank you, God, because we deserve to be confident and have the standards that we have and not feel like we gotta maneuver or change who we are to be able to have a man in our life. So I thank you for being the first man in our life, for loving us through it all, even when we didn't seek you or love you or even come to you, guys. So I thank you and I appreciate you, because I'm knowing that single is not forever for us, and I know you got a man out there that's working on himself too. So I just thank you, and I'm just calling a good single season over you, but also a good married season, a good relationship season over every woman that is watching this when it's their time, when you feel like it's their time, guys. So I thank you. We appreciate you so much. We love you. Amen. As I always say, be rare, be you, be authentic. Bye.